Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by New York hardcore OG Pete Koller, guitarist of the band Sick of It All. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, Caffeinated crew? This morning, I'm joined by Pete Koller, none other than from the band Sick of It All. Pete, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. I've had my coffee, so I'm ready to go.
You're wired. You got the first injection of the day.
Yeah. In the mornings, I don't drink a cup of coffee. See, I live in Florida, so it's hot as hell, and I'm sweating right now. But so I have an iced coffee in the morning, and the cup it's probably like that big. So it's like the equivalent of 6 cups of coffee.
Right.
So
it's like a 20 ouncer for those of you. That's the classic. I'm from Georgia, so I'm very much used to cold brew or iced Americanos, things like that. It's too hot to drink.
Yeah.
But now living in Montreal, hot coffee has become, we kind of switched because I know you're in Florida now. You've been there for a while, and then I feel like I've traded with like anybody who's from this area of the North America. When they go south, we trade. So it's just funny. I learned those habits now. But yeah, is that like a Wawa? Do you have like a big Wawa cup? I know that's a big Florida thing.
To tell you the truth, I've never been to Wawa yet. On tour I have, but they've actually just started opening them around here. But I got coffee at home. It's already paid for.
Exactly. Why buy cheap coffee when you can have your own better coffee?
You can mix whatever you want in there, whatever.
Exactly. That's awesome. What did you have? What's your go-to coffee that you like to drink? Is there like a brand or
well,
roast or something?
So when I'm making regular drip coffee at home, basically whatever's on sale, but as long as it doesn't suck. Okay. So like I love chock full of nuts and stuff like that. Actually the New York blend is delicious. So I'll use that, but then I'll take, what Bustelo is?
Oh, yeah.
I actually brought some props here.
That's it. The classic.
Yeah. So I take 2 spoonfuls of that and mix it in with whatever, Starbucks coffee, whatever's the main thing of it. And I always put 2 of that in there. So, and it keeps it nice and rich.
That's the jitter. It's like jitter. I had, it's funny because last week I had Liam from Cancer Bats, and he described like Folgers, really cheap instant American coffee as headache water, which is the greatest. So I would say that's not headache water. That's just like basically the alchemy of a caffeine psychopath, maybe. But that's really great.
But actually, like hotel coffee or airplane coffee. My wife came up with this. My wife Mei Ling. We get the travel size Bustelos, the little ones, and no matter how shitty the coffee is, you take the instant Bustelo, you put it in there, so at least it has some kind of flavor to it, and
Like it gives it that richness that you talked about. It makes it a bit more bold. Yeah. A lot of body. Bustelo is like the body coffee.
Yeah. Great stuff.
Yes, for sure. It's a classic for a reason. So I'm drinking a coffee it's actually from Calgary. I've switched from my Quebec and Montreal roasting for this week, but it's called Phil Sebastian Coffee Roasters. It is their Mahiga AA Kenyan coffee. Wow. Which anytime I can drink a Kenyan coffee, I'm going to spring at it. It's one of those that can be elusive. It's got a lot of great flavors. This one has notes of grapefruit, some currant, and peach. Super delicious.
You're making me feel substandard here. I said chock full of nuts. It's like,
oh no, don't listen. Everybody, it's like music, and we'll talk more about this for sure. But tasting coffee is just like tasting music. Everybody's got their own variation, their own subgenre. You know, well, I'm more into beatdown. You're more into punk. It's like that when it comes to coffee. So,
well, the thing is okay. At home, I mostly drink iced coffee. On tour, I drink straight up espresso. Especially in Europe, our tour buses have the greatest espresso machines. And you're talking about the guys from Cancer Bats. We did a tour, who knows when it was with all this time off, but and we all shared the same bus. And the coffee machine in the bus was nonstop working, and it was good stuff. It's just like a straight up shot. So on tour, I basically just drink black espresso. Like, it's so strong. It's like you took a shot of whiskey and you get that like chill. You're like, wow, fuck.
Runs down your spine.
Yeah. Like, Jesus.
I can imagine. I know those Bats guys, they're very much into their coffee as well. So I can only imagine what that tour would have been like.
It was a great tour.
Wired.
Such a great tour.
So much happening on paper anyway. There's so much caffeine that we're getting a lot of ideas going. Well, do you have a favorite Daytona shop? I know that you've been in Daytona for quite a while now. So have you been able to get into that coffee scene down there? Not really. I haven't really been. Like I said, I got my own stuff here, Mm-hmm. But in New York, I have. Let's hit it.
Some places don't even exist anymore. Okay. When I lived there was a place called Mission, and that was on 2nd Avenue between 4th and 5th Street. And they had a thing called the Mission Impossible. Okay. And it was iced espresso, but it was that much. Mm-hmm. And then they would put even more espresso, a hot one on it. So it gets all mixed up together. But then they take sweetened condensed milk and put that in there. And that shit was amazing.
That's a fire drink.
Yeah.
Like that. like a quad shot espresso with sweetened condensed milk. And that's crazy because my first introduction to the sweetened condensed milk was it's a Cuban cafe we have here in town.
That's where it comes from.
That they do the Cafe Bum Bum, or it's also called a Spanish latte.
Yeah.
But it's basically a little cappuccino, and then you put about an ounce of sweetened condensed milk in the middle, and the more you stir it, the sweeter it is.
Yeah, it's delicious. I actually put some in my iced coffee yesterday, and I was just like, well, and you could just eat it out of the can.
Yeah.
My wife was telling me, back in the day, she lived in the projects and her grandma was raising her, and they didn't really have dessert. So they busted up a can of that and just give them a spoonful to the kids. And it was like, whoa, that's good shit.
Yeah. My wife she grew up in Mexico, and she's taught me so many things that you can do with sweetened condensed milk that me being an extremely white American never knew. We use sweetened condensed milk for like baking every once in a while.
Wow.
My wife is like, no, you just mix it into shit. I'm like, oh, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my wife's Puerto Rican. So that's where she's like, oh, yeah, you mix this. And I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, Latin cuisine.
Back to the city. Okay.
Yes.
So that was the Mission Cafe. I don't think it's there anymore. But this place I know is still there. It's called Puerto Rico Imports, and it's on St. Mark's and 2nd Avenue. And they do, they send coffee to you all over the world. And they had a mix there. It was called Frangelica, and it's absolutely delicious. So you could buy beans or already ground up, or you could just get coffees there too. Place is always packed. It's really tiny, but it's a great place. So
it sounds like they actually do import coffee as well.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a great place. And when you walk in, all the bags of beans are like just out in the open. So you pick up a bean and chew on it, and you see what it tastes like, and make your teeth all brown.
That's like classic coffee culture. That's why New York, I feel like, has always been a staple, is because of it being so diverse, so international.
Yeah. It's the best,
in the US,
best place.
in the U.S., one of the first and only places you could get an experience like that was New York. So really awesome.
And so the last time I was there, I went to a place called Birch, but there's a couple, I think there's like 9 of them all over the city. Great stuff. One of my really good friends, Joe, works there. He's like a coffee guy. Get it? Joe, cup of Joe. So that's it. There's nothing else you could do in life except be a coffee guy.
Yeah. If your name's Joe, you're automatically. You have to carve your own path.
Yeah. So he turned me on to the place. Great place. So he sends me stuff once in a while too, which is really nice. That's
really nice. Cup of Joe. Great. Well, besides being into coffee, being into hardcore, you're also very much into wellness, fitness.
That's why I'm kind of sweaty right now. It's because
you're just working out.
I'm trying to get ready. We have a tour starting on May 5th.
Yeah.
So basically, we've been sitting around since 2019. We've had 5 shows since 2019. Okay. So I've been working out twice a day and sometimes all day, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, this. So that's where the coffee keeps you moving.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So when did fitness become something that you were really, really getting focused on? I know for me, I got a lot more into getting fit, getting healthy during COVID. It was kind of a wake up call. For you, I think it started a bit earlier. What was the driving force behind, getting fit?
Well, as you know, things started getting, Sick of It All started getting extremely popular in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us were married back then. So all we did was tour. So you would do a month tour in the United States and go home and wash your clothes and do a month in Europe and then fly to Japan and then fly to Australia and then come home and do a US tour for 2 months and then go back to, and it was kind of brutal.
Right.
So, and our show is pretty high energy. So I just wanted to, because I love music so much. It's like, I don't want to do anything else. And this COVID thing was like soul crushing, it's like, I haven't had a job, like a traditional job since the 80s. Okay. Now the COVID came, I have a job. And the cool thing is it's a very physical job. It's like construction, demolition, cement work, whatever they need to do, which I liked. And I'm outside all day. But, since the COVID thing happened, it kind of fucked everything up. But anyway, so the physical thing, I just wanted to be ready always to tour. Mm-hmm. And that's why, lately I've been really jumping on it I don't want our first show back and people be like, wow, these guys look like they've been sitting on the couch for 3 years or whatever it's been.
They gained the COVID 50.
Yeah.
We're past the 15. It's been 2 years. We got the COVID 50 now.
Crazy.
Well, what is your least favorite workout to do, but you still do it?
Running.
Yeah.
Cardio
is terrible.
Yeah. But that's the thing I need the most, And no matter what you do, it's not like being on stage. Because on stage, you're full of adrenaline and you're like freaking out and the music is making you do this and that. It's not like, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do this. It's like, you're just like.
Horrible. It's so boring.
Yeah, it's boring.
That's what we need to do now. You got to do like the hardcore stage presence cardio workout.
Yeah. All right. As long as people are paying. All right. Because I haven't worked, in years.
We'll do a series of videos about like, this is how you got a windmill.
Yeah.
We'll start off with windmills or 2-stepping, mosh workout.
I'm sure someone has done that already.
There's always an angle. Well, let's talk a little bit about, your background in music, Sick of It All. My first album that I heard from Sick of It All was Scratch the Surface, which obviously from 1994, I didn't hear it until, maybe 2009, 2010 when I first started getting into hardcore. But why guitar?
I really don't know why. No, but when we first started playing and messing around, my brother Lou played bass, and I'll play guitar. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, Lou was like, I can't play. He's like, fuck this, I'll be the singer. I said,
right.
Okay. And then I started, I was able to make the bar chord. So then I started writing songs. I know I've said this before in other interviews and in the book that me and Lou put out, but it's like, I couldn't learn other people's music because I didn't know how to play. But as soon as I learned how to hold the bar chord, I said, well, why not make my own stuff? So I wrote Friends Like You, and that's a bar chord in a box motion, And then I wrote My Life, which is sort of a box. It's the exact same notes, but just played in a different way. And I was like, all right, cool. And then we just started moving on from there and whatever.
Yeah, thank God for power chords. Yeah. None of us would have learned how to play guitar without that chord. I've heard you say it to Toby, and I know that you and Lou wrote a book about being brothers in a band, which I haven't read or listened to. I want to listen to the audio.
The audio book is, I'm not tooting my own horn, but it is fucking funny. I mean,
is it all three of y'all together?
Yeah, it's me and Lou. And then you hear Armand, he does his parts, and Craig does his parts. And, a lot of other people who did parts in the book read their parts. But the best parts are when Lou does Armand's voice, or I do Craig's voice, or we do our booking agent from Germany's voice. And those are the best parts. It's total stupidity, but it's really funny.
Yeah, I'm definitely gotta get that on audiobook. I love listening to podcasts, obviously, but I feel like audiobooks are also another great way to hear about that. But I heard you say to Toby and start writing, because when you can't learn other people's songs, I found you do just start fucking around until you find something that you like, and without YouTube and tabs.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I feel like, how a lot of you and even like Rusty, I talked to Rusty before, and that's really how he learned how to play guitar, is he just started like fucking around until you find it. And I'm really thankful for, the lack of resources so that we get sick of it all. We get H2O, we get all these amazing hardcore and punk bands from the OG days.
Yeah.
So, because now hardcore is just a repetition of everything that's already been written. But do you remember your first guitar, the first like real electric guitar?
Yeah. It was a Hondo Flying V. Okay. And it never stayed in tune, and it sounded terrible.
Amazing. So zero intonation.
Yeah. So to fix it, I spray painted it black and then wrote all over it and put stickers all over it.
And then it sounded great.
Yeah. I think my friend John actually still has that. I think he does. I'm not sure. I should text him and ask if he's got it. But my real first guitar, I mean, that was a guitar, but it never stayed in tune. Mm-hmm. The neck and body were like, drilled together. So it was like that thick to play. So I saved up a ton of money and I bought a Gibson SG Special. Oh, yeah. And if you see any photos from early CBGBs, it's a white guitar. And that's my first guitar. So.
Was that influenced at all by Circle Jerks?
No.
Everybody was playing SGs back in the 80s.
From Black Sabbath, Tony Iommi.
Okay, yeah, that makes way more sense. That must be why everybody had an SG back in the early punk and hardcore days.
Yeah, I'm Black Sabbath all the way.
Yeah, I even know like all the Heshers, as they call them. They were super into Black Sabbath, and I think like we have Black Sabbath to thank for any kind of heavy music nowadays.
It's true. That's where it comes from.
Some of that shit's still heavy as fuck. Like it stacks up.
Yeah.
It's really stood the test of time.
I was talking to a friend the other day, and War Pigs actually came on the radio, and it's like, these lyrics will ring true for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like he's speaking the truth, and it's never going to fucking change. And he's just, so generations and generations are going to at least hear it, that he knew, you know.
And it's great too, because with like the popularization of, you know, you can go to H&M and buy a Black Sabbath t-shirt because everybody loves metal and punk and hardcore fonts nowadays, even if you've never heard a Metallica song. But it's great because some kid might see that shirt, never have been into Black Sabbath. He's going to look up Black Sabbath and hear that song. And, you know, that could be the gateway.
Yeah.
Just like somebody sees, you know, Metallica shirt, a 7-second shirt, H2O, like it's just, I think it's really cool. Which I guess we could talk about elitism at this point, because I know that I've talked to a lot of dudes from the early days of hardcore, and it's a family. When you talk to Toby, Rusty, any of those dudes from the New York and DC scene, it sounds like y'all are brothers.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just think on embarking on a life that everything hangs on music, like everything. Mm-hmm. Toby would have never met his wife if it wasn't for hardcore, you know? Me and Toby wouldn't be friends if it wasn't for hardcore, you know? I wouldn't have met my wife if it wasn't for hardcore. I wouldn't have my daughter, you know?
Right.
So it's the greatest things in your life. It all came together because of music, you know?
And that's really, I was thinking about bands nowadays and, you know, how people formed bands when Sick of It All was started, Agnostic Front was started, these early bands. And there was no Craigslist, there was no Facebook, you know, you couldn't be like looking for a guitarist in Queens. You know what I mean? Like, so in your opinion, like, what do you feel like has led to Sick of It All playing music 30 to 40 years after the formation of that first album being released?
Like I said, so we started doing it because of a passion, and it was like we went to CB's every Sunday, and that's where our friends were. And then we saw, you know, you go to see AF and Vinny is in the crowd dancing, and then he goes up and plays. You're like, oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
He can't really play. I can't really play, but all right, he's getting his message across. Mm-hmm. All right. So then out of a passion, the band is formed, and me, Lou, and Armand and Richie at the time were always hanging out together in school, after school, every Sunday, every, you know, whatever, always. And Craig was always at the shows with us. So that's how we all became friends. And we all came from Queens, New York. So from there, things started picking up, and then we started making money, and then we didn't have to work. And it's like, okay, so everything depends on the music. But the thing is, the passion for playing is always there. You know, it's like, so right now I have to have a job, but I've written 25 brand new Sick of It All songs. Okay. Because you can't stop it. You know, I'm going to bed and I'm hearing this riff. I say, oh, that's a fucking good riff. Yeah. And then I go downstairs and I record it. And then I put the bass on it. And then I put the drums on it. And then I put vocals on it. And I send it to Lou, Craig, and Armand. They're like, wow, that's great. So it's just us. It's embedded in our DNA. There's a line in one of our songs and it says, born to stalk the stage. And we are, you know, and like I said before, this COVID thing was soul crushing. It was, you know, it was like, that is our fun and our life and our passion. And then it's just like, okay, it's gone. You know, we went from playing like 200 shows a year to playing 5 shows in 3 years. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. And like I said, it's passion that keeps it going. You know, your back is going to fucking kill you. You know, I'm going to be 56 in August. All right. everyone's like, wow, you look so young. I'm always like, you should see me getting up in the morning out of a fucking tour bus. I'm like, holy shit. God, my back is killing me. You know?
Oh man, before that first coffee, I'm sure it's brutal.
Oh, it's brutal.
I love that. You know, it's never been like a career. It's not a job. It's just what you love to do, and it's happened to become.
It's just what you do.
Yeah,
you know,
and it really does resonate with people. I mean, I'm 29 years old. I've been listening. I've been a hardcore kid for 15 years, and it changed my life. That's like listening to Scratch the Surface, listening to, I mean, even like Backtrack was a newer band, but hearing some of those songs, hearing Have Heart, like all across the spectrum, that hardcore message where it's like, let's be better, let's do better, let's respect one another no matter what. Like that resonates with me, and it resonates with all of us. So it does go way beyond music, but the music just happens to be kick-ass. You know what I mean?
But it's also that music is such a part of you. For instance, the other morning I had to go do some cement work. And the strange thing is, being the youngest guy that works there and the guy who's sort of in shape, I had to carry all the cement. So each bag is 50 to 80 pound bags of cement. So from here to there all day long. Headed over there, I was hating life. You know what I'm saying? I'm like wearing all dirty clothes and I'm walking, I put my headphones on, and Back at the Funny Farm from Motorhead came on. And I was just like, everything's cool. This is something I got to do for now. Who gives a shit?
Right.
But the music, I was just like, it just saved me right then and there. And then I immediately texted Lou. I was like, hey, you remember that song from Motorhead? And Back at the Funny One. He goes, yeah, it's a fucking great song. And then he goes, yeah, I just listened to it. Man, that's a fucking good song. It just keeps us going.
It saves us. That's it.
Just like coffee does a lot of times.
Yes. That's why I tell people music and coffee. That's all we need. That's all we need.
Sometimes you're into the third week of a European tour and it's a rainy Monday night, but the people still showed up. It's still packed, but you're slinking around, and then you take that shot from the tour bus's machine. You're like, all right, let's get going.
It works in conjunction.
Yeah. And then the adrenaline kicks in and you're like, I got to calm down. Jesus.
Well, being on tour, doing before COVID and the madness that, it created for us, doing 200 shows plus a year, you got to have some kind of ritual on tour that keeps you connected, keeps you grounded. Because I know that it can be a bummer sometimes. It can be tiring.
But I will never complain again about that shit. Never.
Nobody will.
It's like, cool. Yeah, whatever.
I'll never miss going to a show ever again.
Yeah. They're going to come next. Yeah, they'll be back next year. Who knows what's going to happen?
We don't know that.
Yeah. Who knows?
But what's that thing that keeps you grounded, keeps you connected, even to like family and being back home?
Like what we were talking about before, my wellness and fitness regimens. If I do not exercise, even on tour, being on stage is like a brutal workout. But if I do not work out and it hits 3 days, I get actually mentally fucked up, and I'm angry and I'm pissed off at like, what? You're pissed off at being on tour, People dream about that life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So fitness and shit like that helps me all the time. Like just the other day, okay, my wife is on tour with Bad Cop, and she's road managing or stage managing and she takes care of everything, drums, bass, guitars, all that shit. She takes care of the girls. And so I can't really stick to my usual gym time. So I made my daughter come with me because I don't want to leave her at home. So we went, and I have my own key to the gym. So I went to the gym like at 11:30 at night, and I let her. So I worked out till like 1. So I let her stay home from school the next day because she was tired. Because it was hitting the third day of not, So she didn't
I'm
have
sure
to go
she
to
didn't
school.
complain about. Yeah, I'm sure she didn't mind.
No, not at all.
mind that.
But she's so sweet. She was like, well, what do I tell my teachers tomorrow? I was like, tell them you felt sick. She was like, I can't lie. I said, well, tell them Daddy had to go to the gym.
Yeah.
She's like, okay.
That's perfectly honest.
Yeah. She's pretty cool.
Well, Pete, I've really enjoyed talking to you. This has been such a fun time.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I just want to say one more coffee place in Oakland. There's a place called Timeless. Okay. It's a great place. So if you're ever in Oakland, go check it out. All right.
Yes. Go check Timeless out in Oakland. The Bay Area is, I love the Bay Area. So definitely shout out to Bay Area coffee. Well, I just have one last question for you before we go. What's your favorite city for beans and breakdowns?
New York. That's just my place.
I mean, is there any borough that speaks to you the most, or is it just
the whole place? Because you could always find there's all great bands from every borough. And of course, nowadays there's great coffee everywhere. So
everywhere. Yeah. New York's the capital of he's young, but he's from a band called Koyo from Long Island.
Oh yeah.
And Harold, he was like, city's so nice, they named it twice. So I always, whenever anybody says New York is their favorite, I'm like, it's true. There's something about it. Well, Pete, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This has been,
thanks for having me.
Such a fun time. Make sure to go check out, remind me of the name of your book.
It's called The Blood and the Sweat, the story of Sick of It All's Koller brothers. So The Blood and the Sweat.
Go check it out. If you like to read, you can read it. If you want to hear a cool audiobook,
there's cool pictures in the book. So just
get both. Go buy both. And check out Sick of It All on tour with Agnostic Front starting May 5th.
May 5th, yeah.
And you guys are going to Europe too.
Yeah, everything is mapped out for the whole year. So it's the East Coast in May. We're doing a short European thing in June, and then July and August in Europe festivals. September is the West Coast Sick of It All AF tour. Then I think we go back to Europe in November, I think. So
that's why I was thinking the West Coast too, which you haven't announced support for that one yet.
I think it's another old school New York band. So
can you say anything about it?
I think it's Murphy's Law, actually.
Oh, that's going to be tight.
Yeah,
that's sick. Crazy. Okay. That's a East Coast Crown of Thorns, West Coast Murphy's Law. Forget about it.
I'm not sure if they said yes yet. All right. But
okay. Well,
and anytime I tour, I want Murphy's Law with us, because no matter, like I talk about Monday night shows, people are like, yeah, they did the whole weekend. They're kind of burnt out. As soon as Jimmy gets on stage, he hypes everybody up. And then no matter what, they're psyched for everything. So
yeah,
they're like such a great band.
So yes, be sure to check out Sick of It All. Agnostic Front. We don't need to say any more about that. I mean, that's the fucking show. That's a show.
Sure is.
Make sure to check them out on tour. Pete, for the rest of 2022, I'm really hoping that things start. It looks like we're gonna get back to normal. We're holding our breath a bit, but
well, definitely living in Florida, the virus doesn't exist for some reason.
But Pete, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.
All right, man. Thanks. I'll see you later.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Pete for coming on the podcast, hanging out with me. Be sure to check out Sick of It All. They have an East Coast and a West Coast run coming up starting May 5th. They'll also be over in Europe during the summer and early fall. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can also find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns, as well as on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.